Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. This is your instructor Joy. Let me first play a tune for you. So this was beginning of Paganini Caprice number 13. Today we are going to talk about double stops. So 6 common mistakes that I see in my teaching studio, so that it helps you to know what to watch for and what to pay attention to, so that you can make your double stops nice and relaxed, in tune and beautiful. And thank you very much for your continued support here and also my Patreon page. I encourage you to check out my Patreon page videos as well. You can find those links in the description below. I'll be posting a double stop exercise video this coming Thursday, to help you to build your left hand frame in a nice healthy way, so that you can play your double stop technique even better. And also thank you all for your kind comments, questions, booking lessons with me, sending me donations. I truly appreciate. So when it comes to double stops, it's hard for all of us. It's one of those techniques that we have to constantly work on. And if we miss to practice a little here and there, and then soon we can see it's not anymore that stable. It's one of those we have to constantly maintain and constantly work on. There are many things to pay attention to, but I'm going to give you 6 simple points that you can see whether you're on the right path or not. The common mistake number 1 that I see is overpowering the left hand. So a lot of, we feel like, because we're playing multiple, we have to place multiple fingers, we feel like we have to press a lot. But it's the other way around. Because simply if you overpress the fingertip, your hand already tenses up, which means it's very hard to adjust any fingers, which results to be out of tune. So try to place the fingers and understand what the minimum of finger weight that you excuse me, what's the minimum of finger weight that you can apply to. So simply, let's say if we do 1 and 3 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 3 again. So simply by playing with a soft sound, with a light bow, that helps to lighten left hand. But at some point when we start playing in performance dynamics, we have to really play out with a bow. And that's when we have to pay attention that we don't overpress our fingertip. The way you train your left finger, so that you know how the best way, the most efficient or the least fingertip way that you can put, is just place the first and third finger and see if you lighten, just like you would do harmonics, which means you lighten fingertip until you hear a little whistle. Yeah, that means that's a little before your limit. So that's kind of feeling that you have to have when you play double stop. Then 2 and 4, like that. Of course, we don't play it like this kind of sound, but just to check whether your left finger is light enough. Common mistake number 2, not connecting fingers. So when we play simple single notes, let's say 0, 1, 2, 3, we leave the previous finger until we get the next note, and on, right? Our hand understood that, how we find we can use a previous finger to gauge where the second finger goes, and then on. If you lift up your first finger, the previous finger completely, and you have to reset every time, it's not impossible, but it's much harder, because there's absolutely no guidance. There's no little checkpoint that you can rely on. So therefore we leave previous finger, and based on that one we gauge where to put second finger, of course also while listening, and that's how we get a little physical help. Same thing goes for double stops. So if you go 1, 3 and 2 and 4, common mistake that I see a lot of students, because we are putting multiple fingers on, after we place 1 and 3, and we let go all of it, and then we have to reset. We reset 2 and 4. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's very hard. It's like you have to blindly put the finger in the right spot in a very without any help, and that's very difficult. So either upper or bottom one, you can pick one and then use that one as a guidance. For example, 1 and 3. If it's too hard to leave both first and third finger on, then lift the third finger but leave your first finger on, and then you can gauge that one where to put second finger, and then that's gonna be a little easier. Leave your second finger on, and then know where to put first finger. Yeah, just to have a little physical guidance by leaving the previous fingers on. So now, common mistake number 3. Overpressing the bow. We feel like when we play multiple strings, we have to give more by pressing it. But it's not like that. It has to do with the height of the right elbow. So for E string, it's about this one. For A string, it's about this high. If you want to play both A and E string, you would adjust the height in between, so you can play both strings. And here, the contact point where the hair is touching the string has to be a little compromised. So for contact point for E string is a little closer to bridge, whereas contact point or sounding point where the sounds the best for A string is a bit farther away. So now, depending where the melodies are, whatever string is carrying the melody line, the important one, then you would use that sounding point, and then that way the melody plays with the best sound. So in this case, I'm playing E string and A string, but the E string is the one that's carrying the melody. So I place the contact point a little favored for the E string note. That way the E string speaks louder. Yeah. So now, no need to press it. It's all about adjusting the height of your right elbow and then finding the right contact point. Common mistake number 4. Now, talking about carrying the melody. So often when we play multiple fingers, we're very busy supporting this third and fourth finger, and we tend to play the bottom one loud. And then sometimes, often, melodies are not in the bottom line, and we end up playing the not so important lines much louder, so disturbing the musical lines. So make sure, regardless of your left hand difficulty, always make sure the melody line comes out. In this case, even though we want to support the third and fourth finger, and then we tend to adjust the left arm, and then whatever we focus on the left hand, the right hand wants to copy. But here we have to make sure that even though we're supporting the lower notes, third and fourth finger, the bow has to support the higher note. That way the melody comes out. Yeah. Next one, common mistake number 5. We stop making music because we're so focused on technical aspects. So just like any other music, you can play all in tune, but if there's no musical idea, no musical expression, it can be kind of boring. So even when you're playing difficult double stops, make sure you're still making music. So common mistake would be, so instead of playing the beautiful musical ideas, so we're so focused and we tend to play. Of course, I'm exaggerating. It's rarely this bad, but you can see, even if it's in tune, it's kind of uninteresting. So always think about the melody line. So it has to be, even when it's double stops, it has to be musical, it has to be beautiful, it has to have some kind of ideas. Last, number 6 common mistake that I see is forgetting to understand the distance between fingers. So first, we play double stop 1 and 3, and 2 and 4. Notice that between 1 and 2, these fingers are far away, whereas the 3 and 4 fingers are close to each other. Because 1 and 2 are whole step, 3 and 4 half step. So not all double stops have equal distance. So it's very, very important to understand in order to play in tune. So 1, 3. Yeah. Not only that, the distance changes depending whole or half step. It also changes when you get higher positions. The distance gets even smaller. Same third, the first position is like that, but in higher position it goes much smaller. So all those things constantly change, and that's something that you can just sit down and just mark it on the music as you, even without the violin. Yeah, just to give you a little, to have a little picture guidance as well. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching, and just be patient with the double stop working, and always have your ears wide open while you do that. Happy violin playing, and I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.